Hey, what's going on, everybody? And this is Kick Rock's podcast, 2 Drink Minimum. Welcome to episode number 17, Lucky 17. We're talking about the 48-hour film project in this one, about 48 hours we've done in the past, one that we're about to do in the future. July 13th, 14th, and 15th is the Chicago 48-hour film project. We are excited and pumped about it. We can't wait to find out what it's going to be because we never know until that weekend. So we're excited to share that with you when it comes. Be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, listen to us talk about not only this upcoming one, but 48 hours of the past as well. Sit back, relax, have a drink with us, and enjoy. Alrighty, gentlemen, cheers.
Cheers.
Clank, 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 clank,
going.
clank. Tony, come on. We didn't.
There you go.
Did it.
Stretch, sitting across the room. What's going on, kids? I'm Bill.
Joe.
Tony. Sergio.
JT.
We are Kick Rock. No, I don't know. That was lame. We'll cut that
Or
out.
are we throw a stone?
I don't know. This past
man.
weekend we certainly were. We're this 2 Drink Minimum, and we are talking about the 48-hour film project, which we just wrapped up another one for the Milwaukee 48-hour film project for the first time. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, I think, before we get into, why we, I guess, have consistently competed in the project this many years, and we plan to do so for at least a few more at this point, we'll talk about what the 48-hour is. So I'll just give a brief, for those who don't know, a brief synopsis of what goes down. So, as the name would imply, 48-hour film project, you need to make a film in 48 hours. That involves writing, shooting, and editing a film and turning it in from 7 p.m. Friday night to 7 p.m. Sunday night. So, at 7 p.m. on a Friday night, you basically show up to wherever the general meeting place is that the producers of whatever city you're competing in decide on. And you get your genre. So every team gets a different genre. Some teams are going to have repeat genres. But what they've done in the past is you used to get to choose a genre. And then if you didn't like that or you weren't feeling it, you got to choose a wild card. And if you picked the wild card, you had to stick with that. They switched that in recent years. And now we have, you get 2 genres. You could choose either one of them, or you can mix them both together if you're so inclined. So, everyone gets a genre you got to work with. So when we say genre, we mean like Western, horror movie, sci-fi, things of that nature. Romance, comedy,
Silent film.
right?
Musical.
Silent film.
Or-
Well, I think our audience knows the definitions of genres, but
Tony just mouthed silent
I know he
film.
mouthed silent film for
those of
who
you listening.
aren't watching this
What if some
live.
people only read the word, never said it out loud, and they thought it was genre?
Well,
I've had 2 drinks in me.
then they should not. They should not be listening to this podcast. So
Genetic reproduction. That's what those words are short for. Got it.
you get your genre, and you can't pre-write or plan really anything because what happens next is you get your elements of the film that need to be in the film, and every team has, for each city, has these same 3 elements that need to go in there. You get a character, which is usually a male or female with an occupation. You get a prop that needs to appear in the film or be used in some way. And you get a line of dialogue that needs to appear in the film, either written or spoken. So those are the 3 elements. You get that, you get your genre, and you go off. At 7 p.m. it starts, and you have from that Friday night to turn in a film that Sunday night. And that's basically the gist. And at this point, since 2010, yikes. Right, we have thus far done 9. 8 with Chicago, 1 with Milwaukee, which we recently did this past weekend, and we're about to do our 10th 48 as a group. Our 9th in Chicago coming up July 13th, 14th, and 15th that weekend. We're pretty stoked about it. We're really excited. That's why we decided to have a podcast talking about it, just maybe to give you guys a little bit of insight as to what the 48's really about, what goes on,
Or-
what we like about it, maybe what we don't like,
Or
and
even-
maybe share some stories of past 48s.
Or even drum up some competition, because I personally love promoting this event, because I think that anybody who's ever wanted to make a film or just thought it'd be fun to try and make a film should definitely do this competition, because it's a fun weekend where you just like start on a Friday with like nothing, and then by Sunday at 7 p.m. you have a short film in your pocket, and it's amazing.
I'd like to piggyback that because, and for anyone who is interested, who's never made a film before, don't be intimidated by teams that have fancy cameras or nice equipment, because we've seen some really amazing films that were literally shot and edited on the same iPod or iPad.
Or iPhone or whatever,
iPhone
yeah.
or whatever, you know, with the way technology is now, most of these items, speaking of iPhones, Sergio just dropped
There
the
goes my
heck out of his.
showing how durable they are.
yeah.
To shoot on any
But
set.
you know, it's really cool to see what some of these teams can come up with just shooting off their iPad, then taking that footage, editing on the iPad, you know, and then handing it in. So yeah, I'd say anybody who's interested, just go ahead and do it. It's fun. It's a learning experience for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead, Joe.
And again, with the piggyback on Tony, it's definitely a learning experience. From where we started with this thing to where we've come as far as what we know about it and how to handle it, we've definitely learned a lot over the years, for sure. Even a matter of getting some sleep whenever you can, which can be difficult, as Sergio can attest to from just this past weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think to piggyback off your piggybacks,
piggybacking all the way around.
piggybacking all over. I think the best part of it is the fact that you have no idea what you're going to get, and by the end of the weekend, you do have a short film to be proud of and share with everybody. That's always my favorite part. That end result, no matter how tired you are, no matter how tough the shoot might have been that particular year, it's really awesome to have that short film to share with people and with each other, and to drum up the competition, right? Especially we can speak to Chicago. So much talent in this city, and we see too much. Yes, we see some great films every year, and every year we go, how do they do that in one weekend? How do they get that shot? How do they do this? Man, that's really great. Oh my gosh, the writing in that one, the cinematography in that one. There's always something we see where we learn from other teams as well. It makes us want to get better at our craft too. And it's amazing to see what people can come up with aside from what we come up with too. It's just really awesome. It's a really great community thing to bring filmmakers in this city together for this. You know, it is a competition, sure. It's more of a festival, really. It's more to see, you know, to showcase what these filmmakers, whether you're amateur just starting out, or whether you're veterans and you've been doing it for years, what you can do in 48 hours. And that's the spirit of it. And that's what always is exciting to me, just seeing all those films that can get made. It's
Yeah,
really
and
great.
seeing them in a movie theater on a big
Yes.
screen.
That was the
You
point.
know,
I was
like-
Want to get your
about to
stuff
make.
on
Love
the
it.
big screen, enter this contest.
getting your stuff
Is
on
it
the
at
big
is it at Music Box?
Music Box Theater on
Yes.
Southport.
So you get to have your film screen at the iconic Music Box Theater in Chicago. Like it's one that's
Is that
an
a
awesome
phenomenal place,
old
Bill?
school vintage theater. And the fact that you get to have your film screen there with all these other independent filmmakers is really cool.
It's a vintage theater, yes, but it's also recently renovated. So they have a brand new projection system. It does, 70 millimeter film, as well as every single digital format. Plus, their sound system is pretty phenomenal. So that's one thing I do really like about the Music Box Theater is that the fact that they have all updated equipment. Granted, the seats, it's not stadium seating, but still the theater has that really big, large 1930s feel vibe to it.
Still has the big stage.
Yeah.
It's got the
It's still got a
curtains.
stage.
and
It's still
shit,
got
you
a
know.
stage and it feels really cool, but at the end of the day, it's like brand new projection equipment, brand new sound system. It's a really cool old
They,
school
they
theater.
kept the heart of the theater
Yeah.
and upgraded
and
it.
upgraded the projection and sound. So
I've
that's
always
cool.
felt like over the years, every time we do it, like the payoff to see our film on the big screen has always been like cool to me. Like I've always really enjoyed that. I've also enjoyed, like you guys mentioned, like at the end of the weekend, you have this awesome like film that you created in your pocket, and we've always made a habit of watching it over and
Yeah,
over
and
and
over.
over and over
Well,
on
it's
Sunday
exciting.
night once we get it in. But it's cool because we're that's great because we're so proud of what we made that we want to just keep watching.
And overly
it.
tired.
Yeah.
And,
And overly
keep
tired. We
watching it.
can't watch anything else at that point.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
You want to see the fruits of your labor, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and then even to take it a step further, like the opportunity to take this other places and compete against the best films in the world was something we've been fortunate enough to do twice.
See, that was fun. See, and like to some of you out there, I mean, might be thinking of doing this. There was like a 1 in 50 chance you get to maybe even see your big dumb face like mine on the Chinese theater in Los Angeles in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was a bucket list.
I wish
thing.
I could go
That
back
was
in time
so-
and show my 13-year-old self, hey, one day you're going to be like walking on a red carpet,
Yep.
showing at this prestigious theater, holding a shuriken and a bottle of Jack Daniels with a green T-shirt that says Irish Ninja on the screen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
that
that
was,
was-
We have been lucky enough to go to the international part of the competition twice and see all the city winners from
All over the world.
all over the world, which is just incredible.
Was it
And,
150
you know,
cities or something?
and represent
Yeah.
Chicago. We've been,
It's
very
120,
lucky,
150.
and to be able to do that twice, it's been awesome. You know, obviously we'd always love to do it again. We'll see. We never know, but just to be there and to just be in that community and just know that, wow, there's hundreds, thousands of other teams out there that are doing the same thing we're doing every year. They must love it as well, you know. So it's just all positive vibes when you go and you see that, and again, it's a learning experience because then you can see like, wow, this team from Tokyo, like they just killed it, or Rome, or wherever, Paris. This is all over the world. You can see this great art in one place. I mean, the last one we went to was in Seattle, and I remember, you know, at one point we were there. And I went to the theater just by myself at one point, just because I was like, I want to catch a showing. I want to see like what's out there. I just want to sit there and watch these foreign films, you know, from everywhere, and see what everybody else had to offer. Just because that's just the fun of it, you know, to do it. And just to go back to saying like we've done it so many years, it might have sounded like we were like bragging or whatever. It's really not that. The reason that we keep doing it year after year, I think, is because at its core, we just really love creating a film in 48 hours. We really love doing this. I mean, every year it just keeps getting more fun, and we keep, I think, growing as a group and as
for
filmmakers.
sure.
You know, we get better and better at, you know, little steps at a time, and it's really awesome.
I feel like each year we learn something new.
Yeah.
I feel like anytime we shoot something, we learn something.
Right.
But specifically the 48 with that whole run and gun mentality
Forces us to.
Yeah, it forces
Right.
you to do these things under pressure, where something that you know would normally take a couple days to edit and then you know to re-edit and look over and to do this, it's like you're not getting any breaks. You're literally just running. And okay, I mean, this past weekend was went and got that first shot done. Then it was dump the footage. JT, can you start the motion graphics for this? And then it was to move on the next one because JT was going to have to jump right into it and get it.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, in the real world, you know, or a normal shoot, we'd shoot it and be like, all right, JT's going to try to get to that motion graphics in the next couple days.
Right.
And then,
Next
you know,
week or two.
you know, and then maybe Sergio comes back and color corrects it. And then we watch it and, like, oh, yeah, this might need to be tightened up. Where with the 48, it's just like, oh, no, this is all happening. This is happening right now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to everyone's credit, this weekend, like everyone just did their job and really kicked ass. And just, you know,
Yeah.
I think the
Oh,
finished
yeah.
product shows that. So
Well, and by the time you all are hearing this podcast, the finished product will be available on KickRock.com.
Yeah.
You'll see our entry for the
yeah.
Milwaukee 48.
go ahead
Yeah.
and check out The Dream Machine.
Dream machine.
The Dream Machine.
Dream Machine,
Do
yeah,
you
sci-fi.
kids, do you listeners ever dream about being in the movies? Well, now your dreams are the movies.
Yeah. Through our so many
That's all sorts
layers.
of meta
So
Inside a
many
meta,
layers.
that's like 16 metas.
Oh, yeah.
Did you just inception the meta right there?
I just quoted
God.
Deadpool.
I want to know,
right.
well, a couple things. Like, I want to talk about, like, some of our favorite
Oh, yes.
moments
yes.
and stuff from the 48 over the years, but I have a question for all you guys first.
No.
So, Sergio, technically tackled Milwaukee as a challenge to himself or an accomplishment.
Personal,
for
yeah,
himself.
personal challenge.
My personal goal for the 48 is to someday either not die or have more than one line in one of the films. Because for those of you out there keeping score, we've had 9. I have died 9 times, 3 of which happened in one film. I had 2 that I didn't appear in at all, and 3 that I just made like a very simple cameo with 1 or 0 lines. So my goal is to have more than 1 line and not die in a 48. It's not too much to ask.
That's never going to happen, Joe.
Yeah, I know. But
Joe,
the
you
guy
have,
can dream, can't he?
you have a face that people want to shoot. I mean, come on. Like,
I don't know.
So my question then, now that I said that, and we touched on Sergio's like challenger goal and my challenge and goal, what about the rest of you guys? Do you have any goals in mind for the 48? I know, Bill, you've mentioned to me in passing you would like it to make it to 10, and this is now happening.
How many times have I died?
In life?
No. In 48 hours.
Irish Ninja, I guess, died.
Yeah.
Technically.
defeated. You got defeated.
I got killed in Scott's place.
And you get killed
Oh,
camera.
Yeah.
Oh,
definitely.
And
Ah.
what else did you get killed? You got killed in Home Invasion as well.
Oh,
Yeah, your heart. I got my heart ripped out.
Oh,
yeah.
That one's the most obvious one.
Is that it though? You died any other times?
Yeah, I usually get 2 lines.
I love that one.
You get more than me.
I don't think I've ever died, have I? No, you don't. You don't kill the hero.
No, you're all, yeah.
No,
you're
you died in the first one.
I know. No,
You
I
died in the
I-
very first one.
Oh yeah.
Tony killed
Oh,
you.
I killed you in the first
No,
one.
I've died twice at
Yeah,
least. I've
died.
died in that one, and I died as in Teleportia. I got sucked into a black hole. So.
Oh,
That doesn't mean you're dead.
I'm pretty sure.
It could.
well, it's foretold in the lore of the MacGuffin that you die if you go into a black hole.
That's stupid.
Hey guys, go back and watch all of our 48s. They are pretty okay.
Okay, so all right. Yeah, I guess we've all. Yeah, we died. All right.
I have something that I want to try for a 48 one year, but I think it'd be interesting. I want to. I know that sounds weird.
No
want
nude scenes, Tony.
to-
No nude scenes.
That was another goal that I had.
It would probably have to be for silent film, or maybe not silent film, but we'd have to, audio wouldn't be doable. I want all of the action to be done in reverse. If you're walking down the street, I want you to walk backwards, but I'm interested to watch the playback of that and edit it going forward. So reverse all the footage in post, then edit it together. And I think that would be really freaking cool. And another challenge to add on our plate already, but I think it would be interesting.
Tony's doing Milwaukee next year by himself.
No, the funny
Honestly, I've been thinking about this for about 2 or 3 years.
No joke, Tony.
and I'm like,
I thought what you were saying is you want all the actors to walk backwards,
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
you can play it forward.
yeah,
That's what he's saying.
that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. I want all the action to be in reverse, and then I want to
That's so bizarre.
reverse it in post and edit it normally.
That is the craziest
That would be a
thing.
weird action.
I really,
Maybe we don't-
I know.
we don't have to
Kinda you would have to like storyboard the.
It
fuck
would
out
have
of
to be.
but
It would probably end up turning out really just bizarro, and because you know, what I mean,
Can we try it as a sketch first?
I'd like to do. I'd like to try it as like a
No, we
rough
have to try it.
idea
That's fine.
one.
We have to try this now.
But I feel like I had to have, because I wouldn't have just, I'm not, artistic enough to come up with this idea on my own. I had to have seen something that made me think about this. Maybe it's a music video, maybe a commercial, maybe something where it's like, man, that's definitely what they did there. You can tell because something's not right with the
Yeah.
pace or with that. And it's like, but it's really cool. I wonder what it would look like if we did a full short film like that.
Was you ever see Top Secret? It's like that. They're in the Swedish
Oh,
bookstore
yes!
because there's an inside joke is that like Swedish sounds like English backwards. So like they're in a Swedish bookstore and then like they walk through the whole bookstore and the whole scene is done like
That's right.
backwards footage
Really?
reversed.
Which
Yeah.
side note, aren't they doing a sequel to Top Secret?
It's Top Secret.
I thought I read something recently that he
I
signed
hope so.
on
Is
to
that Val
doing something
Kilmer?
like that. Yeah, Val Kilmer.
See, I don't remember the movie. I
it's
remember
a great
the cover of the
cheesy
VHS.
80s, like...
I don't even know.
No.
It's the Abrams and Zuckers, the guys who did Airplane and Naked Gun and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're up to lately. But
Well,
All right,
the
anyway.
part about shooting it like that would be that Joe's character has to come back to life.
He like
I
slowly
like
like
that.
crawls out of the
I think it would be
ground.
fun if there were
and it's,
gunshots and stuff. Like reverse all the sound effects too. You know.
I just think
You
it would
have
be
to do a
something
lot of, like-
interesting.
Something
It's
to
definitely
try,
difficult.
yeah.
If not for the 48, for a sketch or for some sort of short, I'd like to try that at some point.
Yeah.
It's something that I've been thinking about for a couple of years. So
Alright.
yeah.
JT, what? Oh, sorry.
I thought we were just going, but JT, you got something?
No, I was gonna say, does anyone else have?
Are you gonna say JT? Does anyone else
I
have
was gonna
something?
say,
or-
I was gonna say, like, you know,
I don't know.
I don't know. Something I've said it for the past couple years, I think, just because I'd like to see how we would tackle it for a 48. A genre we haven't gotten to play with yet is time travel, and I think that would just be a fun one, namely because of the amount of Back to the Future references we've made throughout the years. What
do you mean, Marty?
That's probably some of my favorite movies. What's that?
So what do you mean, Marty?
Yeah, right. So
Stuck here?
I think that, you know, going along with sci-fi, which we've done is always fun. I just think that specific one, I don't know, that'd be one of 48 calls. I think it'd be fun to do one time. I'd like to see what we do with it. And that's about it. I don't know. Other than that, I mean, you know, whatever we get, we get.
Yes,
Alright.
definitely getting something that we've never gotten before would be cool. Like we've done musical.
Do you remember the year we pulled musical, the panic in your face?
Oh my god.
You and Joe were like,
Terrified.
and me and Bill were like, yes, let's try something
We were
new.
absolutely terrified. What was our other option? Like family film or
Yeah,
something?
family
It was
film.
Like,
Yeah.
well, that's a bunch of crap too. We don't
Yeah.
have a family.
Dude, but how much fun was that shoot? You know what I mean?
was
Like,
outstanding.
They kick rocks a family, yo.
yeah. So all of our films are family films.
All right, favorite. I'm not gonna make you guys pick favorite 48.
Favorite moments?
Oh, I have a favorite.
I'm not done talking about my goals yet.
Yeah,
Oh.
JT. Well, you had your chance and you said, "Hi, I'm
Yeah.
JT."
I don't have any goals. Go ahead, Bill.
Damn it! Got me again. Made me feel bad, and then he says that. Ugh.
I'm just
All right.
trolling this episode.
I know you are. You troll, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you want to say your favorite one, that's fine. But I don't know if I could choose one right now. Maybe. But favorite moment or scene or whatever in a 48, or at least one of them, because there's a bit to choose from there. So, off the top of your head, what's one of your favorite moments from a 48 or favorite scenes from a 48?
I'm gonna spit out like 5, but
Go for
the
it.
plate scene from Home Invasion,
Which is also
the
mine.
camera follow, where we
Another one where Joe dies.
Yeah,
That's my favorite death in
we
all of my.
Because we used the prop to
Yeah.
tell you, that's why.
The prop
and
was
it was
plate.
a cool way that it was done.
Joe dies by plate being thrown like a frisbee at him, but what we did was we stuck a plunger to the plate and spun it in front of the camera
Well,
lens.
JT followed.
Well,
You
JT
ran camera
followed.
then, right?
Yeah.
And then sped everything up in post, and it looked
It
hilarious
was awesome.
and
It was definitely my favorite death.
That was one of those situations where,
Sound
like,
effect, too.
I wasn't. I directed that one, right? But like, I couldn't. Those were those situations where I love
You
our
can say
team.
that for most of them.
Well, no. But the point I'm making
nine
here
of them.
is I love our team so much because in those, it's one of those moments where it's like I have no clue how to make something happen, and JT came up with like, no, here's what we got to do. We got to fucking put this plate on a plunger and then follow camera. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, no, you just do this. I'm like, here, take the camera and you do it. He's like, okay. And then he did it, and then we saw it in post, and I'm just like, this worked perfectly.
It
looks
Great.
awesome.
So it's like, and that happens all the time in these 48s where it's just like,
Call an
oh
audible.
yeah, any one of us are just like, well, I'm not sure how to do this, and someone comes up with an idea, and we try it, and it works, and it's just like so fun when you have those moments that are just like so like on set, spur of the moment, let's figure it out as we're going along, and it works, and you're just like, yes, thank God.
So Home Invasion was a fun one for like a million different reasons.
Probably my
but
favorite one.
How about Backy shaving his head?
Yes. Oh my god.
Prepare to meet God.
Hilarious.
Dude, the dedication
That's
to that role.
You get an actor
right.
who's willing to shave his head for a part.
No, not just shave his head. Horseshoe shave.
Horseshoe shaved his
Just
head.
shave out the top and leave the full ring around.
That's right. You did the
He appeared in 2.
cul-de-sac.
He appeared in 2 and like just gave us whatever he
His
could
all, yeah.
on both of those. But that dedication is insane. I couldn't believe it when he did it. It was hilarious.
Prepare to meet God. Oh my God.
My favorite part is the creepy way that Tim walked with the.
with the clippers,
shears.
the shears, the shears.
Oh gosh. I like the cowboy switch.
Those, that's one of my favorite parts too. Is the cowboy
Cowboy
switch.
switch.
Yeah.
Another great JT, like
Just for that gag.
Yeah,
It
just
took
like,
so
oh, we gotta shoot it like this.
so
I'm like,
much
all right.
time just for the one dumb gag.
But it worked. It worked.
Yeah.
It'd be better than me trying to hop the fence, which Sergio was terrified of me doing.
Well, yeah, I didn't want you to
I could
get
have made
hurt.
it. I could have made it.
I don't know.
I'm sure you
It
could.
turned out better this way.
It's a lot funnier
Yeah,
this way. A lot funnier this way.
Yeah, I mean that was a fun shoot in general. I feel like out of
Maybe
all
the
of them.
hottest day we've ever shot on. That
Yeah,
was hot that day.
yeah, it was very hot that day.
Yeah.
I don't know. Solernum tuberosum was pretty hot.
It was hot. That was the first one.
That was our first
Yeah, it was
48
hot
ever.
too.
That one wasn't all about like scripting really. It was just like the logistics of coming up with like, okay, this is our set. This is where what has to happen here. This is where he goes next. You know what I mean? It was much more about like the.
Home invasion?
Home invasion.
Yeah.
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 It wasn't so much about like writing stuff as it was like what. It was,
Well, hold
the
on. Correct me if
one-liners
I'm
of,
wrong.
like-
You and Follier,
Kevin, yeah.
Kevin, you two wrote that script, right?
We did, yeah. But I
We
mean, like,
outlined it as a group, and then you guys went off and wrote it.
we
right?
did, but like the bulk of it was, I want to say, is like all of us together in this room, like the seven of us, like coming up with just like, all right, well, it starts here, and then where's he go next? I
Right.
don't know, how is this going to work? You know what I mean? Just the logistics of plotting an action scene is something that a lot of people don't think about
Yeah.
a lot. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
they're just like, oh, the action scene, you know, and then it's like. The script is what matters, you know. Like that's, you know, some people that don't really do stuff kind of say that,
Yeah.
you know, like
And that one's one long action scene.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like people don't really sometimes understand like what goes into, you know, it's like sometimes you got to be good to write clever dialogue and all that stuff as
Right.
a writer, but I'm saying like you also have to like to be a director and make movies and stuff to like come up with, you know, you have to think spatially. Like,
Yeah.
where is this
No,
person?
you're
Where are
right.
they going next? How are we shooting it? And, you know, all that stuff. I don't know.
Well, that's something actually to touch on for the 48 in general. Like, you can't just write whatever you want. You have to write to what you have. What you have
Yeah.
as far as cast, what you have as far as locations that are available to you. You can't just go shoot wherever, you know.
Yeah, we've been super lucky over the years to get awesome locations.
But, yeah,
You know?
I mean, particularly like
Yeah.
Lyrics, Rhymes, Nickels, and Dimes.
Oh, yeah.
That location was
Killer.
unbelievable. And that's
awesome.
what made that.
Yeah.
The location itself probably helped make that entire film. I mean, if we would have done the same musical in a different setting, maybe we don't win that year. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
every little thing.
Yeah, that
contributes.
location
whole
was a great
combination.
location, and we got lucky because technically that was a public. Well, it was a
Technically,
condemned
it's not-
building.
it's not
Yeah,
anything.
but
We
it's
were
like
not
anybody
there
from the
legally.
public could go in there. And remember, that we had
We
those
had kids running
those
down the
kids
roof.
running through
Running on
the roof and like making noise. But we just got lucky where the timing was right. We got done when we needed to get
Well,
done.
remember,
We
we
got
got
all the
done.
drone shots done.
Well, our
It
buddy
was,
who was a
great.
copper got a call about us being
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
But
And
he
he
got
ignored
he ignored it and he got a different call.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like, oh, if it wouldn't have been him working, they could have
Right.
showed up and been like, hey, you gotta go.
Yeah.
You gotta go. And
Yeah, we're
you know, even if you
wrong.
recall, I feel like when we packed up and we're leaving, like a few more cars had showed up.
It was getting sketchier.
Like more people were showing up, but they weren't
As
there
the
the
sun was
entire
going down.
Right.
Yeah.
The whole time we were shooting, though, they weren't there, which was like again, we got really lucky. Even though like the drone shot wasn't what we planned on in that one, but because of the wind, but the way it turned out, and the way
great.
we were
It
able
was
to
great.
use it was great.
That was the Pintos. JV Studios.
Yes.
Those guys, if you
Shout
ever
out.
need a great team of guys to film your wedding, your event, your anything, those guys
Oh,
are
yeah,
great.
man.
JV
Johnny and Vinny,
Studios.
man.
Johnny and
Those
Vinny.
guys are very talented guys.
What was our longest shooting day?
Shit.
I mean,
think?
it's got to be.
Teleportation.
It's gotta be because we had-
actually
we had
rolled
to
into
go
to-
Sunday.
Yeah.
We had
You're
to go
right.
into Sunday.
That was the
Yeah.
only. That was the only
Yeah,
shoot where we
that's the
shot
one
into
time.
Sunday. Yeah.
Where we shot, yeah.
We had to with that last
It
scene.
was the roof scene, and we
I
didn't
wanna
do
say
it when
too
it was
that
light
that
out.
was
so we
Another
had to-
moment, like you were kind of freaking out. I had to step in and just be like, all right.
Yeah.
This goes this way, and
Yeah, because I wasn't sure what to
Almost
do
kinda
with
like, we
that
gotta get
stuff.
this done, you know,
Yeah, I was like, oh, what,
everybody was freaking
Yeah,
out.
that was a tense one.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
Yeah.
And it brought us to
won,
Los
so
Angeles.
that was
So,
nice,
yeah,
yeah.
send us to Hollywood.
It was nice. It was very nice.
Yeah, that was, I mean, even,
That's probably
that
the
was,
longest one.
I don't, were the early ones though? I feel like Cash was a long weekend. Very long weekend. Because I know the three of us were here writing until 5 a.m., right? Was it about that, Tone?
I'm not sure what time we
don't
were
And
think
then
it
you
was
and I
5
had to
a.m.
go
It was
to.
like 3 maybe.
Okay,
We had
but
to-
you and I had to be at the flea market at
to look for a cane and some other stuff, a sword and some weirdness.
Right, and Bill, for you that weekend, you came out. You basically came here right off a flight from San Diego, right?
Oh,
More
yeah.
or less.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but I feel like that one was a long weekend overall. But it was only our second time.
Was it our second one?
That was our second
Dude,
one.
leaps and bounds from the first one, though.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, we didn't go that far, but like our second compared to the first, like I thought it was
That's
like
also
good.
the only one we ever
I think
did
our
behind the
third one.
scenes for.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Our third one was Swept
Away.
right? I thought that one was really, really good.
I think that's when we
love
made
Swept
the.
Away.
I think that's when we made our biggest jump. To be
Yeah.
honest, Swept Away is one of my favorites because of that. Because that's I think one.
Complete with the shooting on the roof challenges that you faced on that one.
yeah,
Yeah.
the wind,
That
the
was
wind.
Sergio sound surgery.
Yeah.
From an
Sergio
outsider's
sounds
perspective,
surgery.
I gotta say it's like because like I started Kick Rock in 2013, so like I've been watching since the beginning, and like Bill would always show me every year when you guys would do it the first 3 years, and I was just like the first 2 times I was like, oh, that was cool, and the third time I was like, whoa, like what the fuck, that was awesome, you know what I mean? So
Nice.
Yeah, that was
Nice.
huge.
And then you
Huge
came
jump
in.
in quality.
It was a
from two
big.
different-
Yeah, it was a big step for us.
So
yeah.
you came
was a-
in
that was a big one.
2013. So what was your first 48 with us?
Scott's Place.
Scott's. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep. So, Swept Away also was the first time we made it to the best of.
And
in
JT
Chicago,
brought
right?
his fucking kick-ass fucking smartphone graphics that he did for that video. I forgot about that. That was cool. 'Cause he did all this stuff where it was like swiping on the on the phone
forgot
because he had
about
this really cool like idea of like somebody being on the phone swiping through.
Yeah,
Oh my God, what's the drug? What's the drug called?
Oh,
Flunitrazepam.
Flunitrazepam.
Yes.
I'll never forget it.
Trust me.
I went to Jewel. I'm like,
Trust
sir,
me.
I need an
It's
empty
flunitrazepam.
medication bottle, and I like started spouting off all the reasons why, and he's like, you can just have it, man. I was like, oh, okay. Sir, we're making this film, and I only have 6 hours to get this. Take what you want. Take what you want.
Just throws him at you, runs away.
So that was.
I don't know how
Swept
many
Away
takes
and
it took
Scott's
me to
Place were
say
the ones I
that
missed.
damn drug's name.
Oh, you missed both those?
Yeah, I showed up for Scott's Place way late and ordered food for everybody. That was my contribution to Scott's Place. I'm in the credits for that one as catering.
There you go.
Because
oh, that's right.
I
That's
had to
from
work.
Jimmy John's.
Yo, sandwiches.
That's right. You had to go do
I
a.
was doing those 2 years. I was doing was working in
Festivals.
festivals. Yeah. So I missed Swept Away and Scott's Place, and then we talk about how we kept growing. The year after Scott's Place was Teleportia,
Right?
Yeah, it was.
That was our first big
which
one.
was huge. And you guys also, I'm looking at our list now. You
Also
guys
when we
did
got our
lines.
first haters.
You guys did lines during that one.
You're right.
You guys did lines that year too.
I was just talking about lines.
The second like little branch off for contest
Oh,
thing.
duh.
Mine
I'm not
was
doing
so
lines.
good and so fun.
Yeah.
Everyone thought you were talking about cocaine. You guys were doing lines after this. You guys did lines after
We
that.
did lines that year.
You had to do lines after
That
that.
was a great little like side project.
It was,
the 48
New
did.
Amsterdam.
That was an
New Amsterdam
award-winning
vodka
commercial.
because they wanted
was.
to do like promotional stuff. So it was a cool little side competition,
It was a
and
way
it
for
won
them
us
to get commercials
$500.
made.
We
Right.
got $500 out of that competition.
And a bottle of Amsterdam vodka.
and a
New
free
Amsterdam.
bottle
New
of
Amsterdam.
Shameless plug. Just starting today, Baracos is selling liters of New Amsterdam vodka for $8.99.
New Amsterdam vodka.
New
Liters? Wait,
Amsterdam vodka.
We get paid
Liters.
$100
Yeah, good
every time
price.
we mention
Why?
New
Why
Amsterdam
you guys giving
vodka.
it away?
That was the
We got
case.
it.
It would
We
be
got
in
it for good
every
price.
single thing we do.
It's gonna be our house.
Baracos.
A promotion within a promotion. Well, that's like
within a-
16 promotion.
Yeah, and then after Teleportia was Home Invasion, and we already kind of touched on that one.
Yeah.
But JT, I would go back to your point on the haters from Teleportia.
Yeah, we won't name names, but
But
like,
There's
That's
a lot of hate. Anytime something does good, you're gonna have people that love it and people that hate it.
yeah, but here's the thing, like, don't hate, you know, like just the people out there that are
hate, appreciate.
people that out there that are competitors or people that are like trying to make it and like like get higher in recognition and stuff. I don't know, like whatever. That sounds pretentious, but no, but really like just like it's all for the fun, you know, and it's all for the networking
and we're
and
all
meeting
trying
people.
to do the same
Absolutely.
thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's like there hasn't been a year where someone's beat us and I've been like mad at them. I usually
Right, yeah,
there's
I'm
been
never
times
mad.
where I've been like
Sometimes I like mildly question,
I've been
like,
like,
I wonder
oh,
what they saw in that
but
I didn't.
right,
Like,
and
but you still
but then
congratulate
there's times
them.
where I'm just like, yeah, they beat the fuck out of us.
Yeah.
They deserve to win.
You
Like
still
that was
congratulate
the
them and you
competition.
say hi after,
Yeah,
and then you're like,
absolutely.
"Oh, you worked there? Oh, I knew somebody that worked there."
Right.
And you just fucking fucking talk to people and be nice, you know? Like, why would you hate?
I don't
on
know,
anybody,
but it was
you know?
kind of funny though because there were a lot of haters. It was kind of funny.
Should we explain to
Dude,
the
it
audience
was-
right now so
let's
they
talk
know
about
what's
it.
going
Like,
on?
you don't have to name names, but talk about it. Like,
Someone
let's-
say what happened.
Well,
It happened
I'll
on the
say
Facebook.
that the online one, the
So on
Facebook
social
one,
media.
was hilarious. That someone was hating on it pretty hard, and one of my friend's wives happened
So
to
we
be
happen to have a mutual
happened to be
friend.
a mutual friend. It was like, holy crap! I know these guys. Hey, just so you guys know this, these guys are my friends, but they were still running their mouths, and it was just one of those things.
Yeah.
Like, dude, why get mad about that? Why? And like, it was their whole crew going on and on and on about it, and it's like.
It's all right.
Dude, we're all film. At the end of the day, we're all filmmakers. We're all in this contest. As Sergio or I think it was actually Bill said it. It's more of a film festival than anything. Everybody come out and make a film and show us your stuff. Let's all just show each other our stuff and and go from there.
It's ridiculous to hate for that kind of festival. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Also,
Or
Look,
anything,
it's
but-
great.
And the
I
comments,
love
though,
it.
was-
It's not. We didn't win an Oscar.
If you're
you know
in
what I mean, like
Chicago,
It's the 48.
it's
Chicago's
a film project.
a
It's
really-
for fun, man. I
Yeah.
mean, you know,
Chicago's the third biggest city in the country, but it's still small enough, especially if you're like in the art or musician or film. You know, if you're just a general artist or weirdo of any kind, the pool is still kind of small. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna run into somebody
Yeah.
who knows somebody, so it's like just
It is. We're talking about there were haters. There were, but I do want to say Chicago as a whole, in my experience, in this industry, there's a lot of people out there that are willing to help you out.
Oh, yeah.
And be more of a film community.
Yeah.
That I've found,
Yeah.
which is awesome. And I have the feeling that that's not the case in some other cities, perhaps.
No, that's true.
You know,
Right.
like perhaps like LA or something. Maybe it's more of a more cutthroat
cutthroat,
out there.
yeah.
I would imagine Chicago seems to be more of a community-based type of industry.
It's like we're in the Midwest. Sarcasm is a second language. Like our
Right.
our sense of humor, like is bigger than a lot of places. So that's why you see people like Stephen Colbert or John C. Reilly or people that like grew up in the stuff that we kind of did and made
Yeah.
it huge. Like they still just have that Midwestern humorous sensibility and like lack of pretension when it comes to
Which is the
some of the
opposite
stuff.
of like what that particular team was like. The hate they were spewing on Facebook was exactly that. It was very pretentious. It was very like
Yeah.
So it does exist, and when like we talk about I'm probably the one out of all of us that gets the most salty when we don't win, but it only lasts for a little bit that night of.
Because some of us talk you down, like, come on, dude. Like, no.
and it's mostly because I'm so proud of what we worked so hard on. Last year was a big one for me, but that film that won last year, and the name is escaping me at the moment,
Collapsia.
that was fantastic.
Oh, God.
It was so good.
When they won, I'm like, yes, they should definitely win because I was
the competition
rolling.
was so harsh last year. There
Yeah.
was so much
if
good
we
stuff.
said that name
No.
wrong, we apologize.
I know.
But we were,
But they were good.
we were
They
going
were
into
really
that thing. We were going into that thing
We were
feeling
feeling
great
good,
about what
yeah.
we made because what we did, we made a great film.
Mm-hmm.
We made it to the best of.
Last year was
And then
stacked.
last year was kind of humbling from the perspective of like we'd been up there toward the top, and we still made it to the best of, but to see all the rest of this competition that stepped up and delivered all
Yeah.
these great films, it was kind of a humbling experience, to be honest.
Well,
Yeah.
And good for Chicago because these last couple 48s, there's just been the competition has just been outstanding.
The influx of talent
Yes.
Yeah.
is insane.
It seems like, and it's not knocking the first couple years. I just think there's more teams because the competition has grown to the
Yes.
point where now there's 50 to 60 teams pretty much every year consistently.
The most we had was
And of those,
72,
I mean-
72 was the largest.
and that was
That
the
was
year
3 years ago.
That was Teleportia year.
Yeah.
And there's
We
just
actually
like
won, which was cool.
we always walk away with just like not one or two films where we're like that was great.
There's a handful.
There's at least a handful
Yeah.
that we talk about, and we all have varying opinions on all of them too. And we're
Yeah.
like, man, this one was good because of this. This was great because of this.
What was your favorite? This. Oh, I like
I know.
that one, but the cinematography was better in this.
So
yeah, but the
good.
writing was so good for that. Like,
Right.
So good
You
to
know?
the point where you're sitting there watching them in your screenings and in the best of, just going, this is just great. Like this ticket's worth every penny too. Like this is just great. Like I'm also getting a full, movie and a half's worth
Yeah.
of entertainment right now, aside from our film that's up there too. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
$10 or $12. You support
Yeah.
local,
$12 for a ticket.
local
Yeah.
filmmakers, and
my
you just have a
gosh.
good time.
Yeah, it's
And for the networking alone, if you're into film or if you want to get into film, pay $12 and go to one of the screenings, and the people you're going to meet there
Or
are
the
going
meet and
to
greets.
are going to help you. Yeah, or even if you are interested and you're scared to do it on your own. Yeah, Joe, good point. They have meet and greets set up where the filmmakers and writers and producers and actors will show up to these and say, "Hey, look, I don't have a team, but I'm an actor,"
Yeah.
or "I have no experience acting, but I really want to help and I want to get involved." They're always looking for somebody like
And-
that. We would have taken somebody like that this year. You know what I mean?
They've done such a great job over the last few years of improving it.
We still will take you. Just no. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Sorry, Chip.
Yeah. Just think about back from when we started. It was kind of unorganized. It was kind of all over the place. The meet and greets were everything was kind of but over the years it's grown leaps and bounds both in size and the organization itself.
Oh, yeah, well.
The producers, Jerry does an
Jerry
amazing job.
Vasileidos. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
Shout out to
He's-
Jerry.
He has done a great job at just bringing the community of filmmakers together. He has gotten a great buy-in with Cinespace, which
Yeah.
is Chicago's local movie and TV show production studios, which is awesome that Chicago has that.
And consistently growing,
yeah,
too. Yeah.
And he
Yeah,
consistently
from
works with
Booger.
them. They're one of our sponsors. Hollywood Chicago
Yes.
is another great sponsor.
Well,
they
and
do
he's-
one of the
There's
that's
a
one of my
bunch. He gets
favorite
like a
blogs.
dozen. I
Yeah.
can't even name
Right,
them.
and he's
It's
getting
awesome.
more attention on it than it was
Yeah.
ever getting
Yeah.
before.
Dude, it's constantly in the
He
paper.
pulls-
It's on WGN.
Yeah, WGN, the
WCIU,
The last year we
WGN,
won,
well,
we
TV and
were
radio.
able to go on the radio station and plug
some-
Rock.
some of us.
What's his name? Mike DeGilio? I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm
It
saying
is. No, it's DiGilio.
DeGilio. Okay.
This is the Chili.
So we were able to be on his show.
it's the Chili.
Just doing that stuff and the promotion that Jerry has gotten
Nick.
with the city. Nick, thanks. I said Mike. But no, the fact that Jerry has stepped up the game for the promotion of this, and back to, if you're thinking about, you ever dreamed about making a movie or you want to try it or just check it out, just sign up for it. It's $160 or something right now, and it's just something simple to do and just dedicate yourself for a weekend. And if anything, you're gonna have a film at the end of the weekend. It's a pretty cool experience.
Grab 3 friends. It's $40 each. You guys are gonna have one of the best weekends you've ever had.
It's less than a night out these days.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
pretty much.
You know what I
Pretty
mean?
much.
And you're gonna get to show the rest of your friends, hey, look what we just created, right? You should all be jealous.
What did you do this weekend?
Yeah, right?
This is what I did.
Right, that's
You know?
right. Oh,
Yeah.
I just
oh,
took
you
a-
went to the bar again? That's cool. I made a film.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
For less
Come check
money
me out on the
than
big
what you
screen.
spent at the bar.
Which reminds me too, we've had such so much love too from our friends, fans, what have you, families
yeah, man.
that come out and support this too, which is
We're always lucky.
awesome. We're very lucky in that regard. I just took a glance at some of the sponsors. One that I don't think I've ever noticed before, the City of Chicago Film Office.
Oh, do
is
they?
actually a sponsor this year of the 48.
I don't think they've ever been in a sponsor before.
I'm not
I
sure.
mean, literally,
That's
if you click
great,
the
though.
link, it takes you to cityofchicago.org. It's
That's
the
awesome.
actual city website. So the city itself is now behind it. So
Yeah.
that's just a testament to the
Yeah.
work that Jerry and his team
Which it's crazy because okay, so we just got done doing the Milwaukee 48
do. Filmed in Chicago.
Skeleton crew,
And-
man.
Skeleton Crew. It was
Just
just the
us.
5 of us, and we're very proud of what we
So
created.
you know it's terrible.
it's gonna be fun. But it makes me think the crazy thing is when we went in on Friday, it was 14 teams total that had signed up. 14. When I dropped off the film on Sunday night, 2 teams had already dropped out. So it's us against 11 other teams, and I mean, great. That makes it feel all right, cool. We got a chance of winning something. But at the same time, it makes me a little sad that it's
Right.
Milwaukee is just barely a hop, skip, and a jump north of Chicago. It's and it's fun in its own right, but it's just man, there's got to be people who want to make films, up there, and they don't. Apparently, they're not jumping into it because when we look at how many teams have signed up for the Chicago one, it's not even. We're what? 3 weeks away? 2 weeks away?
3 weeks away, and there's
3
only,
weeks
what,
away?
40
There's
plus?
40.
Yeah.
I want to
48?
say when we looked earlier today, it was 47 or 48 teams.
44.
44 teams. As of right now, this moment, today is June 26th, Tuesday. This is when this recording is happening.
And
44 teams.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
The more films, the better. I
I
love
don't know, dude. Did you ever go to a Brewers game? I think I'd rather tailgate there than do this.
And then do a film. Fair enough. Fair enough.
There is a lot of fun stuff to do in Milwaukee,
I
probably,
can't.
besides
Right.
filmmaking. All right, I'll give that to him.
You know, I was thinking
It's a fun town.
I was
We love you,
thinking the other
Milwaukee.
day, like, what other cities could we try if we wanted to? And I just took a quick glance at like Nashville, but I think that would be dangerous.
No, yeah,
I don't
that
think
would
we
never
could.
drink
I don't
all the
think
time.
we could do it.
No.
But there's only like 7 teams registered for their August 48.
That's it?
Yeah.
Be like, Bill, your call time
Let's
was
do
at
it.
8. I'm at Honky Tonk Central.
Yeah.
That's not
Hey,
where we're shooting.
Maybe we could do it, get lucky, and get
Dude,
mockumentary.
But honestly,
There you go.
like if you guys wanted to do that, the place that we
Please,
rented
we
for the
rented.
Airbnb is this red cabin right on the river,
Log
and
cabin.
it's kind of like sketchy and old, vintagey.
All right,
place.
so
like,
Kid
it was-
Rock will be doing the 48-hour Nashville, I guess, this year.
Yeah, it's August 5th. I think.
I'm not opposed to it.
Dude,
August 15th, 16th.
It's a
17th.
drive. We head out there, pick, go to that
Drive.
location. and
Haven't we
film.
seen films from Chicago that were shot there?
I
I
feel
could have
like
sword.
No, sword. I could have sworn.
when I have my memory
Boy,
from
I tried
that.
to Boy, JT, that was phenomenal.
I tried to say swore we did and swore.
My
swore
memory
at
of
the same time. God, I
Nashville
can't remember.
is when we were at the Filmapalooza in Seattle
George
for
500.
when we were at the Filmapalooza in Nashville for Lyrics Rhyme Nickels Dimes, and I thought for sure that we had best original music, best original song, and Nashville came out with that. You paying attention? Nashville.
Oh, that musical where they didn't have to do one?
Yeah,
Those
they didn't even
bastards.
have musical, but they had
Oh.
2 trained actors that were also
They had what, romance?
singers. They had romance or romantic comedy.
It was something like that, and
It
they
took
did,
place-
and they
they
did
were-
it as a musical.
They did it as a musical.
Oh,
Jesus.
And they were vying for the same position in the
it was
office.
so good,
Dude, it
though.
was so good. It was
pizza
it
meat
was
category.
it was action packed, amazing
it was in
romantic
our
musical.
showing.
Yeah. And that's when
Our
we knew, like,
screening,
oh,
rather.
well, we just
So-
got smoked for musical.
Right.
They don't even have musical.
And we went in there totally cocky, like, you know what, our lyrics are solid. We did a rap musical.
Yeah.
It's really timely with what it's about. It's really funny. I think we got a shot at best song here. Enter Nashville.
Yeah.
Who just smoked us.
Yeah.
But they had people that like, and it's nothing to get. Well, we had one person in our group that could actually sing, and that was Laura, which we'll give her a shout out in a second because I think that's deserving. Yeah, we'll get there. When you said friends and family, it reminded me of that. But
Right.
the Nashville, I mean, you look at it. I mean, they must have. I mean, they created their own original music, their original score.
Yep.
They had these 2 clearly
Trained
musical
professionals.
theater background actors who just killed.
Yeah.
I mean, and we're watching this, and it's so funny because it's the 3 of us watching this, just sitting there too, and the 3 of us at like I think in one breath we were like, "Oh, this is awesome," and the same one we went, "Shit, it's too awesome. I hate them." it was so
it
good.
was great.
You couldn't
It
be
was-
mad.
No, not at all.
And,
man.
and they rightfully so actually made it to the best of
yeah.
that part that year too. They're one of the top 12.
Yeah, it was
films,
excellent,
and
man. It was done really
So
well.
good, so funny.
Yeah.
But man, of all the years that we had musical, we had. Of course, there was a team there that didn't even have to do
And
musical.
there was only 1 or 2 other musicals
I know.
through the whole
And
Filmapalooza
theirs
that
was
made it
probably
to
great too, I'm
Filmapalooza
sure, but
as a musical, and then we got smoked by one that wasn't.
I love it. That's what happens when you get cocky, kids. Let that be a note.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
When you get
So-
cocky, Nashville comes a knocking.
All right.
Put that on a shirt. All right.
So yeah, we've mentioned it like friends and family. We've mentioned
Yes.
like crew stuff like that. And I think would be very remiss of us not to, obviously, shout out to all of those, Laura, as you mentioned, and everybody else that's been a part of our team and our family over the years.
Yeah.
Laura's been with us since Swept Away, right? Every year since.
She's done 6 with us this far.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tim Brannon has always been a huge part of, or when available,
Yeah.
a huge part of the 48. We invite back every year.
Lori Calzaretta.
Lori,
Yep.
Joe Lang,
Yeah.
The list.
Lex Vasquez, the
Dom
Pintos,
Damian.
Kevin Fowler.
Dom. Dude,
All
how,
right, like I'm
Kevin
okay.
Fired.
how
I'm
essential is Dom?
I'm
Jesus.
afraid to do this. I want to preface this with this because there's going to be somebody where when we stop recording, we're going to realize we forgot their name. Because here's the reason why. Because we have been lucky enough, and I still don't get it, but knock wood, we've been lucky enough to have so many people throughout the years, friends, family, talent that we've just met because of this project or from other projects that wanted to be a part of this, that have come back and have done multiple 48s with us. Why you would do that, we don't know. We know it's crazy, and we thank you for that. Obviously, you know, there's too many to name them all because we're going to forget somebody, but top of the list, like you said, I mean, Laura Kowalski, who just always knocks it out of the park for us, has done other things with us, but she's done 6 48s in a row with us.
Yeah.
Right. She always
This
finds
year
a way.
may hopefully
like
be her
16
7th.
48s.
If it's not, whatever, she's done 6. Right, she's 616. You know, she keeps coming back. A lot of people keep coming back. It's just amazing that people want to keep working with us. Apparently, we're a little, at least we're
Honestly,
fun to work with.
there's
We might not always be the most professional, but we're fun.
No, but it's cool. Like when you think about it now, when you said that, all these people that keep coming back, I'm hard pressed to find more than maybe 1 or 2 or 3 people that have only done one.
I agree. Yeah,
There's most people have come back for at least a second year.
I think so.
You know, we have 2 people coming back or three people that were new, either last year or the year before, coming back for their second time this year.
Considering we pay in sandwiches, we must just be really charming.
Charming as fuck.
Needless to say, Jimmy John's.
Needless to say, whoever we didn't mention by name specifically, just know that we thank you. We love you guys, all of you that have been a part of this ride for us or with us through these last 8-9 years now.
9 years and
1048s in 9 years.
still going strong. So yeah, so thank you guys for that. It's awesome, man. It's awesome. But let's wrap it up. Unless anybody has something else to add about the 48, really quick.
I'm not done. I want to say one thing.
Go ahead.
All right, this is gonna sound hippie-ish and humanist and all that stuff, but whatever. I'm just gonna say it. Like we were talking earlier about like just being at the screening and seeing what people from other countries do.
Okay,
and all
you're
that
done.
stuff.
No, couldn't resist. Go on.
But seriously, like this is a rare moment of me not being a jackass. Is that like there's a lot of like when you watch the news and the media and like all this stuff and you read articles and just what politicians do and stuff like that, and it's like they tell you this country is full of degenerates or this country is less than human or just stuff like that. Like you start to paint a picture in your head that like like the Western world is the best and everything else is undeveloped or whatever. Just like this ethnocentricity that shouldn't exist, and like but just art and these films and stuff like bring people together in ways that just like any kind of political diplomacy can't, because it's like when you see what people do from like all these countries all over the world, you know what I mean, and they're just so good and so competent and so amazing that you're just like, dude, like they're just like us, it's like everybody's human, like everybody can make this stuff should they choose, and there's talented people everywhere, and like I don't know, it's just cool to see, like
That's
awesome.
That's a really
That was very nice.
That's a really kick-ass point that you just brought up,
Yeah,
because
very
like
cool.
you're very much right in regards to like the fact that like I love like when we go to like when we've been blessed with the fact of going to Filmapalooza and seeing other countries like Turkey, Prague, Moscow, Poland, Tokyo, like all these other cities, making these films that are hilarious to us, and obviously are hilarious to them, or emotional to them, or funny, or happy, or sad, or whatever, and we all just have that common bond. Like you nailed it perfectly, JT, with that statement. Like the world is very, very big, but at the same time, like when it comes to artists and people who enjoy creating, we're all kind of in the same ballpark, and it's really fucking cool.
yeah,
It's really cool. So, That's a really good point to bring up.
That's one of the best
There.
parts of Filmapalooza is like the language barriers are usually they just go out the window.
Yeah.
Because with a lot of the films, the dialogue doesn't matter because they're done so well that you can
Yeah.
see the story and you can see the emotion, and it's an incredible experience.
Do you guys? Total side note right now. I want to say it was when we were in Seattle for the Filmpalooza. There was a Japanese film, and they did a great virtual reality
Yeah.
thing where it was like this guy.
I remember that was one of the ones I saw when I was by myself. I was telling you guys,
It was,
like,
it
you
was
gotta see this Tokyo one.
It was a
It's
guy
amazing.
with his
Yeah.
girlfriend, and he gets in a fight with his girlfriend, and he goes to his virtual reality and meets up with a girl, and he's trying to have this relationship. Shit goes wrong, and he realizes that virtual reality is not where it is. He needs to be with his woman, his real woman, and that film was just like,
Oh,
and it was like done in 6 minutes, but it was such a powerful story.
That was my pick.
Yeah, it was such a powerful
That was my
story.
pick
It was
for
like
that year. I loved that film.
it was like,
Yeah.
wow, that was impressive. So great point, JT, where it's just like you're exposed to films from around the world, and you realize you're not that much different.
Exactly.
We are all human.
Yep.
At the end of the day, we're all human. We all have the same emotional feelings at the end of the day. So
Wow.
it's really cool.
That sounds like a good note to end on. Let's cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
As we're cheersing, everybody, 2018 48-hour film project screenings begin July 29th. If you'd like to come see our film, check out our Facebook page for our screening date, the Music Box Theater for tickets. Best stuff will be on August 2nd, so I wanted to get that stuff out there because obviously people will be listening as we are heading into this challenge for 2018.
That's how you plug it, kids. That's how Mr. Mono here, he's going to learn you something. That's how you plug it. I like
Cheers.
it.
All right.
Tony, do your thing.
This has been KROCK talking about the 48-hour film project in Chicago coming up this weekend. Chicka chicka bow wow now, cow. Kids, make your films with your phones and your cameras.
All right, well, that is going to do it for episode 17 of Two Drink Minimum. Thank you so much for joining us and listening. Hope you had a lot of fun. You know that we did, as I'm sure you heard. So, the 48-hour film project, again, coming up July 13th, 14th, and 15th, so be on the lookout for upcoming posts with that. We're going to have some sketches for you and podcasts down the pipeline as well, as usual. And a special thank you. We just wrapped the Milwaukee 48-hour film project, and we'd like to thank the good people over at Half Sour in Chicago for allowing us to use their lovely location for that entire weekend. It was a lot of fun, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be able to use that location again soon. It was awesome. So thank you to them, and thank you once again. Remember to like, download, subscribe to the podcast. If you like what you're hearing, let us know. If you don't, let us know that too, and let us know what you want to hear. You can do that by emailing us at podcast@kickarock.com. That's podcast@kickarock.com, or you can comment on our Facebook page or iTunes page. Thanks again. This has been Two Drink Minimum. We've been drinking, thinking, and talking shop. Cheers, everybody.